I'm going to overlap these, but I think I'm going to take these to the table saw and rip them in half. Nothing to see here, folks. Nobody's going to cut their fingers off. Wow, I hope I didn't jinx myself. Well, I shouldn't need to remind you that woodworking is inherently dangerous, but I have all of my fingers left. I want the rough edge of this to show, so I'm going to put the cut edge up like this. There, I'm at 13 inches right there. If I use that golden ratio again, which in my mind makes a lot of sense, this is about 12.5 inches. So the golden ratio, this would be about 8 inches or so at the base. So I'm going to mark 8 inches on this one. Doing it this way, I will use the least amount of lumber. All right, I have a miter saw, so I'm going to use that to my advantage. If you don't have a miter saw, you can just cut these out with a jigsaw. I'm going to find the angle here. All right, turns out this is about a 13-degree angle. I don't think it makes much difference, 13 or 15, but that's where we're at, so I'll cut out all my pieces. I can only cut one side at this time. Now, if I were to lift this saw blade up before it stopped, this one probably would have shot inside there and ruined it. I'm going to be using these clamps. You can get them for $1 at Home Depot. I don't want nails to be showing in this. You know, it's kind of funny. I want it to be rustic, but I don't want it to look too rustic. So I'm going to put a thin bead of glue right here on the back of this one. I'm overlapping these about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch. And I want to get it even on both sides. And then I'm going to put a clamp on it. And then I'm going to use these leftover pieces I have. Because remember, I want this to slant up. Otherwise, the tree is going to be looking forward all the time. And then I can just put that glue in there with a little dollar store paintbrush. So I'm going to repeat this in all of them. You got to be careful with this one because it could snap. Unfortunately, I've got the grain running like this, and so when I apply pressure, I don't think it will snap. So I've taken one of my longer pieces of pallet board to use as a backer here, and it definitely shows up here, so I need to cut this part off. Save time, I just ran over to the bandsaw and chopped this off. So now it's time for some glue up. Start with this pretty square. It's all set up, and it's virtually impossible to put clamps on here. So what I've done, I've filled up a dollar store bag with about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of play sand from the kids' play box, and gently, I'll let this set up, and in the meantime, make tree number 3. Well, I know it's been more than a week since I put out that last video on trees and said I was making a trio. Well, I've been so busy making other Christmas presents for the kids that I haven't gotten back to it. But now this is in my way because I need my full bench for the next project. So this is what it looks like after the glue's dried. I don't know, not bad. Not my favorite tree yet. I'm going to paint this one. And I'm going to start by painting the trunk. I did get some brown paint while I was out the other day. Now this is the bottom part of that pallet. I'm going to be putting it back here as the stand because I don't think this will stand alone on its own very well. It's really top heavy. And while I have this brown brush in here, I'm just going to lightly go over the whole thing to give it some depth. So this is a little sample of Valspar I got at Lowe's, and I'm not even going to clean this brush. I'm just going to lift it off the top here, and I'm going to give this a pretty good coat of this off-white. It's a satin finish. I'm going to be adding this little star, and I think I want to make it white as well. And I'm going to actually paint it white. And now, just like Bob Ross, I love watching him sometimes. If I'm feeling bad and need to get chilled out, I will watch an episode of Bob Ross. This is antique white. It's an acrylic. And I'm, again, going to just brush this lightly over this one to give it some more depth, as he would say. I don't think I'm channeling him. He was great. So it's looking like that. Not bad. And now this is Snow White. If I can remember, I think I did this technique in middle school maybe. I hope it doesn't flip me in the face, but I'm going to add some sprinkles to it. Well, that's not working. I need my granddaughter here, Libby. She's the artist. You know, I remember doing this with a toothbrush. Maybe that's what I need. Oh, yeah. Well, now that I have paint all over me, I'm going to call this done, except for the base. Dab of wood glue on the 2x4. And voila, it's still too much heavy. Well, let's see if this will work. Another piece of the pallet wood. A couple more nails. Still a little sketchy, but I think that's because of the paper. To add that star, I'm just going to come back right here into the back of the pallet wood with an 1/8 inch drill bit. And then I'm going to go into the bottom of the star with that same drill bit. And then with a piece of 1/8 inch dowel, kind of guesstimate where I need it to be. I think that adds a lot to it. This is probably one of those cases where less is more, but the last time I was at the dollar store, I picked up these decorative bells, and they were all attached, and I didn't realize that, but I've cut them up, And I'm going to try to attach them with some hot glue to my tree. Well, let me know in the comments. Did I go too far this time? Thanks for watching.